Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and who is the greatest player your team has ever had on FIFA? Is it Miyazaki? What about Hernan Crespo? Or maybe Gabo Kirai? Well, rather than wonder, I've got the answers. I've looked at every current Premier League club's FIFA ratings from FIFA 21 all the way back to FIFA 07, and I've picked out each team's best ever player. For this I'm using a player's original rating from the game's first release, no updates, no informed cards, no 99 rated Daniel James for some reason, just the original release. So between FIFA 07 and FIFA 21, here is every Premier League club's best ever player. Arsenal Thierry Henry. We're off to a hot start with one of the Premier League's greatest ever players named as the greatest ever gunner to grace a FIFA game. We'll have to go way back to the autumn of 2006, back when Top of the Charts was Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. What a banger. When FIFA 2007 hit our shelves, Thierry Henry was Arsenal's best player with a huge rating of 91, better than anyone else to ever represent the club. Mesut Ozil, Cesc Fabregas and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang came close, but no one can touch Mr Vavavoom. That's right, your man probably fancies him, and who can blame her to be honest. Aston Villa, Gareth Barry and Ashley Young. We've got core best evers for Aston Villa, and two incredible players from the Martin O'Neill era at Villa Park. This was an exciting team to watch back in the day. My grandma still bangs on about it for some reason. She doesn't even support Villa, doesn't belong to the area, so that tells you all you need to know. Although she is partially blind now. Brighton, Matthew Ryan. Considering Brighton haven't been in the top flight for long, their FIFA ratings over the past 14 years has been pretty bleak to be honest with you. So it's no surprise that a modern day seagull is top of the pops, with Matty Ryan getting an 80 last year and this year on FIFA. But with Graham Potter's side doing so well, I think Ryan could be passed by the time FIFA 22 comes out. And I know who we all want to do it, in fact, get him on the cover. Burnley, Nick Pope. Another rating from the most recent incarnation of FIFA that is due to hit our shelves in the coming weeks and days, Nick Pope will become Burnley's best ever player on the game. A rating of 82 puts him ahead of 81 rated Tom Heaton from FIFA 18, and the England stopper is more than worthy of being Burnley's best ever. Chelsea, John Terry and Eden Hazard. We've got another two players who've reached a 91, and they both played for Chelsea in years gone by. But the Blues' two best ever players were 12 years apart, with John Terry 91 coming way back on FIFA 07, and as for Hazard, he was a 91 on FIFA 19, at a time when he was simply unstoppable on the game. Then he hit the cover, moved to Real Madrid, and he hasn't been the same since. As for John Terry, he never made it onto the cover of FIFA, although maybe that's because he was too busy with Wayne Bridges' misses, allegedly. Crystal Palace, Steve Mandanda. Christ, I forgot all about this. I thought it was all but certain that 83 rated Wilfried Zaha was going to be Palace's best ever, then out of nowhere an 85 Steve Mandanda appears like a rare Pokemon. This was a big transfer at the time, Mandanda was a huge name, and I still can't believe it didn't work out. He's Palace's best ever player on FIFA, but sadly his time in reality was an absolute disaster. Everton, Andy Johnson. Surely this can't be right. I find it hard to believe that of all the players Everton have had between now and late 2006, Andy Johnson has had the highest FIFA rating. So FIFA reckon he was an 85 on FIFA 08, while FIFA Index have him down as an 84, which is the same as Romelu Lukaku from FIFA 17. But either way, I'm shocked. Poor Andy Johnson is one of those random players I just never liked as a kid, and maybe this is why. He kept banging goals past 13-year-old little Jimmy on FIFA 08 when I should have been out talking to girls. Fulham, BREDE, HANGELAND. Fulham have had a fair few 82 players in years gone by, from Dimitar Berbatov to Jean-Michel Seri, but beating them all is 83 rated BREDE HANGELAND from FIFA 10. This was a glorious time for Fulham. They had incredibly made it the UEFA Cup final under Roy Hodgson with a totally random concoction of players, and BREDE HANGELAND was the pick of the lot. Well, on FIFA 10 he was. Leeds United, RODRIGO. No surprises here, Leeds have been so crap in recent years that their best player had to come from this FIFA. And it's a new signing, with RODRIGO arriving with a rating of 82. It's just a shame he's being overshadowed by Patrick Bamford so far, but never mind, it's early days. Leicester City, Jamie Vardy. We've got another FIFA 21 rating here, with Leicester's Jamie Vardy getting a whopping 86, and to be fair, he deserves it. The man is unbelievable. Despite his age, he continues to bang in goals. Just last weekend he netted a hat-trick at the Etihad. He's an absolute beast, powered by cornflakes covered in blue wicked, and he becomes Leicester's best ever FIFA player ahead of FIFA 17's 85 rated Riyad Mahrez. Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane and Alisson. Okay, so there's no clear standout player for Liverpool, which is true when you think about it. They've just got a load of stars who are equally as important. On this year's game they've got 4 players who are 90 rated, 2 of which were the year before as well. Van Dijk and Salah are the men in question, but surely one of these players will step up when FIFA 22 comes out and become the best outright Liverpool player ever. My money's on Salah, but who knows, maybe Andre Varane will return out of nowhere and take the title. Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne. For 3 years in a row, Kevin De Bruyne has been a 91 on FIFA. That is some level of consistency. He's the best player in the Premier League and FIFA continue to recognise him as that, with the 91 making him the 4th best player on the new version of FIFA and without a doubt Man City's best ever on the game. Manchester United, Wayne Rooney. There are some perks when it comes to being on the cover of FIFA, and that's what makes Wayne Rooney Manchester United's best ever player on FIFA, and in fact, the Premier League's best ever. 93, that's what he was on FIFA 07. Better than Henry, better than Terry, better than Cleverson. The best player in Premier League history. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If only Wes Brown had been on the cover alongside Ronaldinho instead. Newcastle United, Michael Owen. Newcastle's best ever FIFA player since 2006 is one of their most hated as well, with Michael Owen getting an 86, which is a shame because he never played like he was that good in reality. Michael Owen's time as a Magpie isn't remembered fondly, with horses, injuries and relegation overshadowing his few goals. Sheffield United, Danny Webber. This is a pretty random one. Apparently Danny Webber was an 81 back on FIFA 07. No disrespect, but I think we need to start asking some serious questions about that game. For reference, that rating came on the back of 10 goals in the Championship en route to promotion. It doesn't really scream Sheffield United's best ever player, does it? But who am I to judge? Congratulations, Danny Webber. Southampton, Virgil van Dijk and Jose Fonte. A second inclusion for Virgil van Dijk, the only player to feature twice in this video, and he's in there alongside his former centre-back partner Jose Fonte. Both players got an 83 on FIFA. First it was Fonte on FIFA 17, then Van Dijk joined him the year after. How lovely. Tottenham, Harry Kane. Tottenham have never had a 90 rated player on FIFA, but the closest they've came is Harry Kane, who got back-to-back 89s on FIFA 19 and 20, meaning he gets top spot here ahead of skipper Hugo Lloris and Spurs legend Luka Modric. Who knows, maybe Gareth Bale will get back to his best this year in a Spurs shirt, and on FIFA 22 he'll be a 90. Although to be honest, I think there's more chance of him getting another crack under Zidane at the Bernabeu. West Brom, Kevin Phillips and Grzegorz Kukowiak. Well, these are two players I never thought I'd talk about at the same time. One is a classic striker who's the only Englishman to win the European Golden Shoe, while the other is a man who completely flopped on loan at the Hawthorns. Either way, they were both rated 81 once upon a time in their baggage career and are joint best ever for West Brom on FIFA. West Ham United, Dimitri. It speaks volumes about how good Dimitri was for West Ham that after his first season he was rated an 86 on FIFA 17. That's a huge rating. That made him one of the top players in the game. Outside of the elite clubs he was probably the best there was. Payet was sensational in a West Ham shirt and this FIFA rating proves it. But he'll probably be toppled by Mikel Antonio soon enough. Wolves, Rui Patricio, João Moutinho and Raul Jimenez. As always we went with Wolves and they've got a triple threat of best players, all of which are current players at Molineux, and it was hardly going to be Michael Kiteley from FIFA 09, was it? Moutinho was an 84 on the last FIFA, while Rui Patricio and Raul Jimenez have reached that tally as well for the new game. Great ratings, but still not as good as Andy Johnson on FIFA 08. Better luck next time, lads. So there we have it, that is every Premier League club's best ever player on FIFA since FIFA 07. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time we will see you around.